Say hello to the bad guy, Scott Hall, and I've got a scoop for you. And we all know there's a lot of podcasts out there, and I encourage you to check out this one. It's called Going In Raw. You heard it here first. Going In Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw News Brief. We're going to try to keep this one brief for you today, and in exchange, hit that like button. Let's try to get this one up to 702 likes. Larson, what is in the news?
Oh, WWE could be taking a break here real quickly. Yesterday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis finally issued a statewide stay-at-home order after resisting seemingly for weeks. But the question is, how will this affect future TV tapings for the WWE? Of course, they're doing everything at Performance Center. Performance Center is in Orlando. Orlando is in Florida. WrestleVotes may have given us indication because after the news broke of the stay-at-home order in Florida, they tweeted, quote, rumors around the PC last week were that if the state of Florida issued a stay-at-home order, which happened today, WWE would reconsider taking a break post-Mania. The Raw after is shot. I've been told that they are pausing for, I've been told if they are pausing for a while, some footage shot won't be aired. TBD at this point.
We're going to get one of those cheesy Vince McMahon. It's just going to be Vince from his office or something. He's like, this is trying times for everybody. Blah, blah, blah.
Maybe. Then Seth, he had an interview with Sports Illustrated. Either went up yesterday or today. And he seemed to indicate that WWE might, in fact, take a break after Mania, saying, quote, after WrestleMania, we're going to recollect and see where we're going to go from here. I guess that could mean from a creative standpoint and that they're going to kind of step back, reevaluate, or it could mean they're going to take a break. Right now, he continues, right now I'm very humble and grateful that I have a job that still needs me. A lot of Americans are not in that boat and their futures are uncertain. So if providing them with some entertainment can help them out, then I feel like we're being productive and doing something right. Triple H kind of echoed those sentiments when he did an interview with ESPN, I believe, talking about the decision to actually put WrestleMania on. And that's kind of been company policy is we're going forward with the show because in trying times like these, people need something to take their mind off what's going on in the outside world, essentially.
Yeah, and that was a very well put statement there from Seth, who has been known. I mean, he's been known when it comes to like sort of trivial stuff. He's been known to put his foot in his mouth. You know, fans want to know more about WWE, et cetera, et cetera. The idea of him being, you like me and now, or I'm a good guy and now you're going to turn on me kind of stuff. Yeah. But this is a very, very heartfelt.
He's always, like interactions with people on Twitter, especially related to wrestling. Yeah, he can be fairly dismissive, but in terms of press stuff like this, he usually comports himself very well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, he does. And as far as breaking down his statement, we're going to recollect and see where we're going to go from here. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that could be, I would imagine. I do kind of wonder if when they were heading into this, if they had, for the Raw after Mania, a statement of some sort, like I just sort of mentioned with McMahon. It'd probably be Triple H, though, or maybe Triple H and Stephanie. Some sort of, hey, this is the last you're going to see us live for a while, or not live, but this is the last new stuff you're going to see from us for a while. Enjoy this vintage content every Monday.
Which has been doing well for him.
Which has been doing really well. Yeah, you said the Royal Rumble did like 400,000. Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of interesting. And yeah, we were looking up this yesterday when we saw that AEW was running from the Nightmare Factory in Georgia. Georgia's one. They are on the verge of having a statewide.
Well, we can get to that now. I'll add this from WrestleVotes because the next story is that.
Oh, it is. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't look ahead.
WrestleVotes adds, quote, sources state the Money in the Bank pay-per-view scheduled for May 9th at Baltimore will not happen as planned. TBD, as is everything else right now, as to where this pay-per-view will take place. So apparently WWE canceled all their live events in April already. That's already done. Now May, while not officially canceled, it seems to be the indication internally. I mean, it's the right move to make. They should really just put anything they have scheduled on ice until we get a clear picture of when we can return to some semblance of normalcy. Until then, you can't really plan anything.
Yeah. Speaking of which, AEW, people might be, so what about AEW? So according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, obviously he's pretty well tuned into the fellas over there at AEW, AEW may be forced to suspend upcoming production of Dynamite. This week's Dynamite was apparently filmed at the Nightmare Academy in suburban Atlanta. And while AEW filmed, quote, a lot of content, end quote, while there, Bryan Kemp, the genius governor of Georgia, who has his finger on the pulse.
Oh, he's a man of science, isn't he?
Finding out just within the past 24 hours what idiots like us already have known for weeks now, that the coronavirus can be asymptomatic while you're spreading it for days before you show any symptoms. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know this. We just found out within 24 hours. Ugh. Idiot.
So anyways, well, that Meltzer didn't mention that. That's all us to say, calling that guy an idiot.
Yeah. But the point is, the general point is, because I've seen this come up on Twitter when this stuff has been brought up. Some people in the replies will be like, well, why can't they find a place that you can do it? The thing is, basically all the states at this point have stay-at-home orders. It's very like, Bryan Kemp.
You were saying Georgia just instituted one today.
I think Oklahoma had, they were also late on it. Homa stay at home. Let's see here. Yeah, so as of 18 hours ago, Oklahoma governor enacting new COVID guidelines. No statewide stay-at-home order.
All right, they're just dealing with that county-by-county basis, huh?
Yeah, they're doing it by county, because I think 19 counties have enacted it.
So Florida, that's off the table. Georgia is now off the table, seemingly. I guess Oklahoma is an opportunity, but who knows if they have any connections.
I'm sorry. I'll back up now. 18 hours executive orders already made are now extended to all 77 counties. Non-essential businesses like hair salons and gyms are now ordered to remain closed through the entire month of April. He also extended the governor's safer at home. So they're treading the line. So it's like Oklahomans 65 and older. I mean, the bottom line is it doesn't seem like anybody's going to be able to run wrestling in Oklahoma.
Yeah. And I guess the bottom line is it's looking like you won't be able to run wrestling anywhere. If that hasn't already happened, it's going to happen very, very soon.
Seemingly all the states are coming together, yeah.
Yeah. But, everybody at home have been for a while, a vast majority of people. I think I read that 80% of the U.S. populace is under some sort of stay-at-home order. Mm-hmm. Makes you wonder why no one is watching wrestling. We talked about this a bit Tuesday. Raw's rating was horrible.
Oh, it was really bad.
And the Wednesday night ratings are in. And they're really bad. AEW, they garnered 685,000 viewers. That's down, about 200,000 from the week prior?
I think the week prior, weren't they? They were like flirting with 1 million. They were like a 920.
No, last week was 819.
The week prior to that, the first empty arena show, weren't they like 920 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. And then NXT, a 0.25 in the all-important, highly coveted 1849 demo. And then NXT, 590,000, a 0.15 in the 18 to 49 demo. Last week, NXT was 669,000. So they dropped out 79,000. AEW, 140,000 roughly.
The shows aren't that bad, but there does seem to be, I think part of the general wrestling audience just understands where things are going. They understand nothing's really gonna happen. WrestleMania is on the horizon. Nobody's really excited about it beyond, I wonder how they're gonna pull this off. I wonder what it's gonna look like. But it is very difficult to get excited about this kind of stuff at this point in general. And try as they may, it's just it's not. It doesn't have the enthusiasm behind it. Like, you and I can appreciate it because it's obvious they're putting on what they can and the performances are good, but it's just without the electricity of a crowd and the idea that anything can happen, because right now anything can't happen. Like, they have to pause their stories for kind of.
I feel like that's more the case with WWE's brand as opposed to AEW. I feel like AEW is just kind of doing more or less what they want to do regardless. We still had the debut of Matt Hardy. We still had Brody Lee, even though Tony Khan
Blood and Guts is
the one thing they have postponed. Brody Lee still debuted. Tony Khan said to him, "Hey, you can wait till we're back in front of crowds to debut." And he said, "No, I'm tired of being stuck at home, essentially, or being at home. I want to go wrestle."
Yeah.
Blood and Guts is the one thing that AEW is pushed. Seemingly, to the best of their ability. Granted, there's some talent availability issues because of travel restrictions. Seemingly, they're doing a lot of what they probably wanted to do to begin with. They just announced a TNT title tournament. If they were kind of putting the brakes on things and waiting to see the things cleared up until they would progress with their stories they had planned, they probably wouldn't have done that.
That was kind of a bad move. I'll be honest with you. Like, how do you not know this is going to happen? Like, this was all kind of writing on the wall,
Well,
man.
I guess it depends. Maybe they're shooting a bunch of stuff. They shot, I don't know how much stuff they shot. Meltzer said a lot. I guess Jim Ross was on something and insinuated they already shot Moxley versus Hager.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
maybe they've already shot the entire tournament.
Maybe they have a week or two's worth of matches shot. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
But it's. I just wonder if it's a situation where people understand these wrestling shows are happening in front of no fans.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, they just kind of feel like, well, if this is not in a real arena, it's probably not that important, so I could skip it. I'll go watch a rerun of Rumble 2020.
There's also the general idea. Look, I understand that, like, like the fans that watch, for example, being in the Elite, or who are plugged in. Let's say it's like 200,000 people, right? Because that's about the number. Like, that's the ceiling on being the Elite.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's a chunk of the fan base who understands that AEW's its own thing, right? But WWE is kind of the entirety of the wrestling business in America. And so there might also be a perception with people who are casual AEW fans. Well, WWE is, let's talk about WWE shutting it down. They're not really doing much, so why would anybody else be doing much? You know what I mean? And so they might just be tuning out too. I mean, 140,000 on one hand, yeah, is a lot of people. On the other hand, it's a I'm not going to say a fraction of the audience, but when they're doing 900,000, 140 is, whatever, 15% of that.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge portion of the audience, but it's enough to be like, yeah, okay, there are some people out there who are just not into the empty arena thing.
Yeah. John Cena, I couldn't think of a good segue for that. He was on that After the Bell podcast Corey Graves has, and they were talking about how WWE has struggled with establishing a new face of the company. Cena, being a former face of the company, had something to say about it. These transcripts are from Cage Side Seats. Steve, you want to take away with this one, please?
Sure. He said, it needs what I'm not sure it can produce. It needs a front man or woman. And that's what will be able to define what the era is, because it takes on those personality traits of its top star. This has happened like 3 times. Cena, Austin, Hogan, like they all define their eras. Finding those people is very tough. Anyways, he continues.
Yeah.
The crowd is so mixed. He gives us a reason why it's tough. The crowd is so mixed that if the company puts its faith behind an individual, the knee-jerk reaction of the audience, even if they liked the guy last week, is to say, and this is John Cena saying this, fuck you, you're not going to tell me who I like. So the audience is also tipping the scales of this not being able to happen. Universal popularity will never happen because someone will see it and get onto it and be like, he seems to be getting popular, let's stop this right now. Or she seems to be getting popular, let's change this right now. And I've seen it happen with guys who are really darlings of that underground crew, make it, and then as soon as they make it, the rug is pulled out from underneath. So basically, he's talking about keyboard warriors, Larson.
I guess so. Wasn't otherwise at the juncture of this podcast, you say something like you gotta look at yourself in the mirror if something's not going right or something like that?
So I think in the podcast he also talked about, and I have not listened to it, I've simply seen these transcripts. There was like a longer transcript somewhere else, where he talked about, I know there are men and women who don't want to be out there doing this grind every day. Hey, I might not be on TV, and some more of the look of the mirror stuff. So I just find it kind of funny that like his entire character shtick, man, is
company man.
No. You want to blame you? Yeah, no, that's his actual shtick. You want to blame John Cena for burying you? Maybe you have to look in the mirror. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing, man. When people, all you got to do is go back to WrestleMania 30. Look at Daniel Bryan. That guy forced the WWE by strength of his own personality to change their entire script and give him the world, right? Yep. We've seen this with a guy like Roman Reigns, who had even been shoved down our throats, right? They eventually found a way to get him over in a way that everybody loved. when they had Sheamus wearing the title and Roman Reigns got fed up with being screwed over and he started punching Triple H and he started punching Vince McMahon and people ate it up. And if they maintained that, he would still be over.
Yeah, they didn't though.
I'm sorry, man. I understand. Here's the thing. I totally get that there are people out there who will be anti everything. Like you and I are big Becky Lynch fans, right?
Yeah.
I see her and I just think, what a star. She's a star.
Oh yeah. And I mean, she might not be as over as Daniel Bryan was going to Mania 30.
Sure.
But at her peak, it was dang close.
And plenty of people since then have been like, oh, I don't really get it anymore. I don't really see it anymore. And that's totally fine. But that's different. Like, it's not like the crowd. The crowd is, I'm sorry, but the crowd, I know they're wrestling fans and everything, but they're pretty savvy. Like, they will accept anything that is thought out, that is actually well thought out. And I'm sorry, but trying to get Roman over, doing the shit that they were doing with Brock Lesnar, with Braun Strowman, all that stuff, it was obvious they were just trying to pull the trigger, and they'd pull it back. Just because the crowd wasn't reacting the way Vince felt they should be reacting. It was just plain as day. And when something is plain as day like that, and it's uninspired, that's the problem.
I know.
That's the problem.
It's, I guess, from Cena's perspective, it's easy to blame the crowd for a mixed reaction, a knee-jerk reaction when a superstar is getting a push. However, a superstar can take an opportunity, run with it best they can, but if the opportunity they're given is based on crap creative, uninspired creative that's not decent enough to propel a particular superstar further up the card, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
it's just not going to work.
Yep,
it just isn't. I mean, like you mentioned, there's a handful of examples of those transcendent generational superstars. They can't be manufactured.
No.
Oh, I guess Hogan was. Hogan kind of was.
Yeah, but dude, honestly,
he had already established himself as a talent to take notice of in the AWA. I understand that.
Hogan did have that thing. He really did.
He did for that time and place. He definitely did. But
yeah.
Vince said, "You're my guy," and made that happen.
He saw that he could be the guy.
Yeah. Subsequently, whenever Vince says, "You're my guy, let's make it happen," it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. Yeah.
I mean, he tried it with countless people: Diesel, Shawn Michaels, Roman. Countless times he tried to make someone the face of the company, and the success rate of that is not very high. No, Stone Cold got over organically. Yeah. Daniel Bryan got over organically. John Cena got over organically. They were over to the point where they could be the guy, and then they were the guy.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't work where if you say you're going to be my guy, and the goal is to make that happen, it generally doesn't work.
Yeah. You
got to find your face of the company based on who's already over, as opposed to making the face of the company whether they're over or not.
You got to write the best creative you possibly can, and the crowd will then say, "Okay, this is the guy that we relate to, or the girl that we relate to. This is who we feel is the face." And then you put that face everywhere out there. That just really doesn't seem. I'll never. Brody Lee said it perfect in his interview with Chris Jericho. I was backstage. CM Punk said, everything about this place should be miles better. And it's true.
It's true.
There's so much talent. And then one weird old guy at the top who sometimes he gets it right. And a lot of the times he gets it wrong.
Yep. How many times we said there's at least a dozen men and women on the roster right now that could be the face of the company. Easily.
You build up the Fiend for how long into this really interesting character? I want Spear versus Spear. Put the title on Goldberg. Okay, all right. Why the hell do I care?
Torpedo all the work you did getting Brady to that point.
Yeah.
I know.
So, anyways, we're gonna make Bret Hart the foundation of the future. How about this?
Think again, brother.
That doesn't work for me, brother. Yeah. I mean, there's so much evidence out there to refute what John Cena is saying. I'm sorry, but it's just bullshit. It's not true.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror, John Cena. That's what you should be telling Vince McMahon. Anyways, who am I to say that to John Cena, though? Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. We got a big sale going on. Friendomerch.com and Friendomarket.com. Use the promo code MANIA. Get 20% off. It's going to run all through the end of wrestling, which is Monday. So
yeah, pretty much. No, Wednesday. We'll have wrestling. We'll have AEW on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll have AEW. Yeah, there you go. Anyways,
maybe even the week after. Who knows? It depends how much they taped.
I don't know. Well, it'd be kind of interesting to see if AEW runs unopposed one of these weeks, what they could do.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.